Hi everyone, I'm Destiny. Welcome to my channel, Single Saving Mama. If you're seeing this video, that means that I have shared some important news with my senior program manager and my program manager. And the news is I am transitioning from my job. I'm quitting. Let's talk about it. If you have watched any of my previous videos, you know that I am a single mother of one daughter. She's 13. She is my baby. And I have been a single mother all of her life. And God has blessed us tremendously. We want for nothing. We lack for nothing. Yet and still, I'm living a real experience as a single parent, managing and handling everything on my own. My typical day looks like waking up at 6 in the morning, getting ready for work, and then waking my daughter up at 6:45 to get ready for school. So while she's getting up, you know, the normal routine, hustle and bustle. And from there, my dad does help. He takes my daughter to school. That frees me up to log on and work from home. And I work from home. Like literally, it is not a cakewalk. I am working. And I work, I do tasks. We use Teams. If you're familiar with Teams, the notification sound can be very overwhelming and very stressful. And I've realized that no matter how many hours I put in at my job, my work, it doesn't seem like it's ever enough. It's always more to do, a lot more to do. So when my work day is over, I do get the opportunity to pick up my daughter from school. Then I do that at the end of the work day, literally from 6:15 until I pick her up about 3:30. It is work. It's a lot. And then after I pick her up, of course, we have activities. We have cheer. Just recently, she finished physical therapy. We had that after school. And we also have other activities. We do make it home. Some days I cook, and then other days we eat out. Me cooking really depends on the type of work day I've had. I will admit that, because some days I'm completely exhausted. I literally don't want to make another decision. I don't want to think. I just want to give my brain rest. I want to give my body rest. And when you're a parent, especially single parent, you don't get the opportunity all the time. And from there, you know, we wind down for the night and we spend time together. And guess what? We go to sleep, we wake up, and repeat. Now, of course, no one day looks alike. The next day may look like me accompanying my dad to a doctor's appointment, driving him to the store, or just seeing if he needs anything. It may look like me meeting with the school for one of my other little brothers. It may look like me taking some time for myself, or me going to my own doctor's appointment, or me taking my daughter to an orthodontist appointment. Like, it's just always so much. And in the background is always the Teams notifications, and it's always work, and it's always deadlines, and it's always something. And this is just the nature of the work, not my team. My team is wonderful. They're amazing. It's just the nature of work. And something that I haven't mentioned is that if you have looked at a previous video, you know that my mom passed away in February 2024. And this whole year, I have been dealing with that. I've been dealing with, you know, that grief and the transitions that come with that, and experiencing that as her daughter, but also leaving space for my other family members to grieve too. So we're all experiencing and witnessing and observing everyone and each other and ourselves. So dealing with that too has added another layer of just, another layer of responsibility, another layer of, I'm not going to say heaviness, but it's just something that I have to tend to on top of life just continuing and work not letting up. It's been a culmination of just everything, regular life things that are outside of our control, and just life and work, being a single parent and living so very close to my dad and making sure that I'm able to support him, especially him and my mom were married 44 years. And being his support system, like that shifted. One of the things that I'm experiencing is supporting an elderly parent in addition to being a single parent. So all this has led to me feeling overwhelmed. So I have been longing for a slower pace of life for a while. I don't know. I believe that when my mom passed, something clicked. Everything got put into perspective. Every single thing in my life was put into perspective. I had this deep desire to create again. Before this job, I was able to devote more of my time to my business. And that is something I gave up because this job, the salary it paid so well. The benefits were great. And it was a work from home position. After my mom passed, there was a longing for freedom. There was a longing for working in my purpose and making sure that my life feels well lived and I'm not just behind like a computer screen, and I'm not just working to live, and I'm not dependent on a work from home job that compensates really well. And I was blessed with an amazing team. Like that was a difficult decision for me to decide that for a season, that was the most perfect thing for me. And in the matter of a day, it didn't matter so much. My priorities shifted, my beliefs shifted, my desires shifted, my sense of urgency shifted, my purpose shifted. Everything shifted the moment that I experienced life without my mom. So here I am. What ignited my desire for change was the loss of my mother. I haven't shared this with too many people, but I had a work trip scheduled in February, and I had a flight scheduled. But before I could get on my flight, my mom usually takes me to the airport. Well, I was working and I had a deadline to meet, and I was frustrated and I was crying. I was just not okay that day. And this is the day before she passed. And I attributed that to it being the anniversary of my brother's passing in 2007. And I was just like, destiny, you honor him by letting his death not be in vain. You push through this. Do your best not to get stuck in the moment. So I'm crying and I'm working and I'm crying and I'm working. And I was intentional about not speaking about him to my mom and my dad that day because I know I didn't want to bring it up to them. So I did not get a chance to see my mom or my dad, before I left because I was working. I decided to get a Lyft. And that is something I have to live with for the rest of my life. And when I got to Georgia, I was there just a few hours and we got a call. And immediately, like I knew, I just knew. And of course, in that moment, it was just like nothing else mattered. The thing that mattered the most was getting back home to my family in Oklahoma. I remember that was my first time sitting in the big girl seat of having to handle everything, the affairs, not only the services. It was also that death is a business. You have to tend to business, period. It just so happened my mom did really well. Sis took care of us. She handled her business. I'm so very proud of her. But it definitely changed the way in which I think about work, rest, work-life balance, family, desires, and dreams. I knew that I would never be the same. I don't want to be the same. I know that this is creating a better me. In the midst of my grief, I can admit that. So yes, that ignited the desire in me for change as far as my job. And the dream I have been nurturing, it shifted my way of thinking about work. how although my mom was 65 years old, how she would tell me it just went by so fast. And she would tell me of her life and of her story when she was a young girl, young mother, young wife. And she would tell me the dumb things she did, the fun things she did. And it has been eye-opening to realize that I'm going to blink one day and be 65, God willing. And I want to have lived a beautiful life. I want to have lived a life on my terms. And I said I was not going to cry. One of the things that I so admire about my mom was she lived life on her terms. She was a remarkable woman. She walked away from a job just like I'm having to do, and I watched her do it. She was one of those women. She was fearless. And she said, I deserve more. I'm not going to deal with this. I don't have to deal with this. And it wasn't an irresponsible move. But in contrast, she had a good friend who still works at that company to today. And just to know how fearless my mom was in making that decision for herself, knowing that, for one, she was a Capricorn, big Capricorn energy. She was going to make things happen. And Capricorns, they care about their coins, but they're so grounded. And she's very observant and thoughtful, outgoing, so funny, friendly. She was a comedian, yet and still that Capricorn in her was like, I'm gonna make a way out of no way. And sis did. She did. We never went hungry, never begging for bread. Her prayers were answered. So she was a great example. So back to my hopes and my dreams. I have a business I have neglected tremendously. And even when my clients and future customers were reaching out, I just put it off. Even though I love doing that work, and the work happens to be waist beads and body oils. And my business is there to uplift and empower women and girls. And the fitting experiences when I'm in the process of tying the beads, it's beautiful, because to me, it's about more than the beads. I really do want women to be so comfortable in their bodies. I want women to be comfortable within their lives. I want women to know that they can do whatever they put their minds to. I want women to know they have every tool in them to create a healthy life. And from that, I know our children will be healed. Our children will learn from us. So that is why I love my business. I love it. And I neglected it for my job. And my reasoning was, I'm making money. I'm making money. I'm making the most money I've ever made. And it felt so great to know that I made it. That's how I felt. I made it. And I was able to get this job out of state, and there was a lot of competition. And I was able to get this job. It was an answered prayer at that time and during that season. But something in me just longed for the freedom to do something I love, something that I'm good at, something that is in alignment with my purpose, and that I'm able to build up God's kingdom in some way. And the way in which I do it is my business, because I really do believe that women can heal women. And when we affirm, we support, we protect, we say kind words, we give compliments, we support one another, we show up for one another, I believe that women can heal each other that way. And that was within me. It kept pulling at me, it kept tugging at me. And I also have the experience of being protected and supported and affirmed by other women. God is so good. He would place the most perfect women in my life for seasons. And I would tell you, most of them were not my age, which is so funny, because literally when you're at a job, your best friend can be your parents' age. Like, she has 50 grandkids and I'm over here with one kid. We're besties though. And they pour so much wisdom and knowledge and understanding. It's just beautiful. So I benefited from the gifts and the beauty of women. So here I am wanting to do the same for younger girls and for women my age and older women. The challenges I face with resigning from my job is the fear of failure, because I went to college and my second semester in college, my brother passed away unexpectedly. I did not pass that semester. I got so many F's for the first time in my life. Like, it was a struggle to get out of bed, open my blinds, shower, brush my teeth, get out of my dorm. It was a struggle. Oh my gosh. Just the power of God. I don't take any credit for that season, but I had to attend summer school or I was going to lose my scholarships. I attended summer school every year I was in college. I took 16 credit hours one semester. Another semester I was able to take 18. They approved it for me. And I graduated, literally, I'm not kidding. I graduated in 5 years with a bachelor's degree and a master's at the same time. To this day, I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And I wanted to make my family proud. I was a first generation college student. I wanted to make my brother proud. I wanted to honor him. And then some years later, I went back to school and I was able to achieve another master's degree. I prioritized making my family proud, following the trajectory of what we're told to do. Meaning you go to college, you graduate, you get a job, you work your way up, but you work that corporate or that stable job. And my fear had been, I don't want to let my family down. And especially during this time, I didn't want to let them down. Another fear of mine was being too hasty in my decision. I promised myself that I would not make any life-altering decisions, no big purchases, no big decisions during the newness of my new season living without my mom. I have done that. I have proven that I can stay the course. To experience the devastation of losing a parent, the devastation of losing your mother. So here I am, and I'm just like, okay, I'm taking that pressure off me. Literally, I have to advocate for myself. I have to listen to my body, and this isn't working anymore. It's not working for me. When I came into agreement with my body that I did need a change and I was going to do it, I felt better. I felt so much better. It was just releasing that fear and taking that burden off of me. And to be transparent, I don't have the fear of finances right now. And y'all listen, the only reason I don't have that fear is because, yes, my mom did right by us. But it's also the fact that I've been in this boat when I had to leave a job. That time I feel like I really didn't have a choice because it was related to DV. And fast forward to today, this was difficult because I work with amazing people and I feel like this was like perfect. This is what I asked for, and for it not to fit anymore, I feel like I should be grateful for this opportunity. I should feel grateful that God allowed me to work here. And am I being ungrateful by deciding this doesn't work for me anymore? Like, I should feel grateful. That's what I kept telling myself. I should feel grateful. But I could not ignore my body because I know that when God nudges you, He puts something in your heart and your body is having a reaction to something, you have to listen. When you are a single parent and everything is on you, you find a way. You make a way if there is no way. And I did it. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. This time I just have support. And I know that money does not last forever, y'all. Like, life is going to happen. But I feel better knowing that it's what's in me. It's what's in me that is going to make it possible to live a life without having this full-time traditional job. And it may just be for a season. I don't know the specifics, but I know it's in me. And there is comfort in knowing that I have, 6 months of expenses saved up. I have the support of my family. I have a business acumen. I have the experience to do this full time. I've done it. I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to believe in myself and not give up and not stop and not put my dream on hold for a job, a job that goes on, because that letter I was working on that I was crying about the day before my mom passed, which was the anniversary of my brother's passing, do they even remember that letter? Does anybody even care? Do the parents care? Does anyone care? Does my job care? No. It's a distant memory. It's a distant memory. And I never want to give so much of me to anything where it pulls from my family, it pulls from my purpose, it pulls from my relationship with God. I've just made it a point, never again. I'm not experiencing that again. I will listen to my body. And one of the other things I am overcoming in making this decision to leave my job and be as a single parent is a voice inside of my head that says, what if this all goes wrong? Everything is on you. But there's also like a knowing in me that knows it's not going to go wrong. It's going to go right. It's getting out of my head, getting out of the past, getting out of the experiences, getting out of self-limiting beliefs about myself, about what I'm worthy of, about what I can have, what I can do. It's getting out of my own way. And it's as if the path has already been laid. And this is how I know. This is always a sign that something is about to pop off. I already know. I had an influx of customers and clients reach out to me. And I was just like, God, you're up to something. I knew it. I hadn't decided to leave my job then. I said, you're up to something. And the best thing I can do is just make room for it. So let me go ahead, prepare my space, my business space. Let me just get everything back in working order as far as my website, my business finances, the checking account, etc. I keep getting inquiries. And it's like, okay, Lord, I trust you. So although there's one part of me saying something, there's another part that is lifting me up, like reassuring me, reminding me that I am that girl and it's in me. Because if I can be a single parent and do this, and I do it, y'all, I'm not boasting, I'm not bragging, I do it. If I can do that, I can do anything. I can do anything. I can parent my child and do so in a loving manner and provide guidance. Make sure she has everything she needs and she gets some of her wants. Making sure she's emotionally well, spiritually well, and having the capacity to be her mom when I feel broken and I can still show up for my child. Like if I can do all these hard things day in and day out with this beautiful being that I created, there's nothing I can't do with God. There's nothing I can't do through Christ. Nothing. So let me move on to my escape plan. I did not intend for this video to be this long, y'all. So my escape plan really is, I have communicated to my managers. They are so supportive. They understand. So I do have a plan in place where I have a last day in the office and then I have a resignation date. I did want to push it out some more, but there were some issues with HR, so I'm unable to take all my days, but that is okay. Had I had planned this sooner and not been doing like this with, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not gonna do it. I could have saved more, I could have used more days, but it's okay. It's okay, I have peace about this. My plan is for my remaining paychecks, I have ceased my retirement contributions. Yes, y'all, it'll be okay. I have increased my exemptions because I usually like getting a refund. Now I'm just like, give me all my money. So that way, the extra money I have coming in for these remaining paychecks are going towards my escape plan fund. And with that being said, I also am accounting for my taxes. I did preliminary taxes, so that's all going to go towards my freedom fund. So I'm not worried about that. And I'm so blessed because I don't have to pull a significant amount out of my current savings to do this. And this will cover 4 months. I have enrolled in a free course that is paid for, but it's for women leaders in business. My goal is to learn new skills so that I can sustain my business longer, and that I can work in my purpose longer, and that I'm able to be of service to women through my business for a sustainable period of time. Something else I'm doing to achieve my dream is I'm exploring contract work. My current job has investigators that are contracted. And when I spoke with my program managers, I let them know I will 100% be invested in becoming an investigator, especially since I know my job and it's such a specialized knowledge base with this job. It's so specialized. Like, I know I can do it now, and I know I have marketable skills. I know that I could be well compensated for these skills. So I'll just be an investigator. It'll work. The max contract, I did the math, y'all. The max contract for the contractors will pay all my expenses for a year. So I'm okay. And that will leave room for me to pour back into my business and pour into other opportunities that may provide money, that will provide provision. The sacrifices I'm willing to make this work is, of course, cutting out all non-necessities. Like in real life, looking at my budget, I'm just like, I don't need everything in my budget. I'm still going to contribute to my Roth. I'm still contributing to one of my daughter's 529s. So I am trimming my budget significantly. My daughter and I are about to explore free, fun things to do, and that will be our thing. But my vision for the future is to be able to share my gifts that God gave me with the world, and for Him to provide for me, offer provision, make connections, look after me, bless us with abundance. My vision is probably so limited compared to what God has in store for me and my daughter. But my vision is to be able to have freedom through contract work, through my business. My vision is for me to fulfill my purpose more than anything. That means helping women and girls feel empowered, be uplifted, to walk in every room and take space, to love their bodies, to know that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, that they have everything within them to overcome, to prosper, to be victors. Like, if I was able to use my gifts and my business to do that, that's amazing. That is the vision. That is my dream. Thinking about my kingdom inheritance that I can build up. So that's my vision. So for all the single parents out there, especially the single moms, I see you, I hear you, and I feel you. I know that it's a struggle to be a single parent because everything is on our shoulders. And then we oftentimes have to sacrifice so much of ourselves, of our bodies, of our beings, of just everything to make sure our children are good. And I'm proud of you for doing that. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. But sis, I want you to realize your own dreams as well. The thing in your heart, the thing in your being that pulls at you, the thing you dream about at night when you finally get in bed, the thing where you're working at work and your mind goes towards it, that thing that ignites a fire in you, that thing where people have said, girl, you got it. You should do this. You should do that. Sis, go after it. Use your dreams. I'm not saying resign and quit. Come up with a plan. Use your gifts. You have a purpose that is outside of a 9-to-5 job. You have gifts that the world is waiting to experience. You have a purpose, and someone else's purpose is tied to you being obedient and fulfilling your purpose. So yes, single moms, single parents, carve out times for your dreams. Carve out time to get still and listen to what you know to be true and go after it. Change is possible no matter the circumstances. You can create change in your life. I'm a living testimony. I will keep you all updated on this journey. I'll promise that another video will probably not be this long, y'all, but I promise to keep you all updated. So I'm wrapping up this long video. Single Saving Mama is the channel. Thank y'all for watching. I pray and hope that this has encouraged someone somewhere. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel.